So here we are with the wonderful Pepper J. This is her return visit, and she's here with her team, and they are filming us as we're also being live streamed. There's cameras everywhere. Wow, this is very exciting, right?
Yes, it is.
So Pepper J, my dear.
Jasper, my love.
Hi,
Ralph,
Pepper.
it's so wonderful to see you guys.
Thank you very much.
Becky, nice to meet you.
Ralph and I have both had the honor of being on ActorsE Chat show that Pepper J produces.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your host, Ralph?
Brett was mine. Brett
Walco. Brett Walco is an amazing stand-up, yes. Who was
All
your host?
Yi.
Tien.
Yeah, Tien, who's doing amazing stuff. Yes.
She hosts Hello Hollywood. She gets 660 million viewers a day.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I'm lucky to get 50,000.
Well, that's a lot.
She does great.
Wow,
So
that's great.
Tell everyone about your shows and what we're talking about right now, the ActorsE Chat and everything you have going on at your studio.
Well, I have a good team. That's how I can do these things. ActorsE Chat is one of the 8 shows on Actors Entertainment, ActorsEntertainment.com, which is the sister site to Actors Reporter, which is an online entertainment industry trade magazine. And they're all part of the Actors Podcast Network. We're soon to launch Actors Radio.
Right.
And on the set, with
Yay!
Jasper Cole,
We're so excited.
On that. I can't wait. Probably this summer is going to happen.
Excellent.
Good.
And ActorsE Chat is a show that is about working people in the industry, working actors, directors, film financiers, comics, singers. And it's an amazing production because we can get to know these working actors that you don't usually know their name. Oh, that was so-and-so in some movie, you know their role. And it's amazing to see the reaction, the beautiful reaction to the show.
Well, what's great is when you do it, you have the live streaming and the live chat. So you're actually interacting with the fans as you're doing the show. So people tweet and email in questions. And
from all over the world. It's amazing.
yeah, this whole technology is fascinating. Pepper's also an actress, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
you have
she's
to
born in Hollywood.
Isn't
You have
she
to be an
beautiful?
actress.
Look at your face. You're so beautiful.
Not bad for 63.
You're
I love
beautiful.
It.
Yes.
Yes. So what's happening? What's coming up? You mentioned Actors Radio. That's going to be a new.
Right.
That's going to just be featuring radio shows.
Right.
On the
exactly.
site. A new site.
Right. A new site. It'll be the 3rd channel on the Actors Podcast Network.
Now, how did this all start for you? This whole technological, internet stuff. I mean, you seem to be you were ahead of the curve a little bit.
I was a school teacher, public school teacher for many years, and then in about 83 I retired to teaching privately. Now I teach performance skills with my partner, John Michael Ferrari.
Who's here?
And we teach performance skills to lawyers, skills speaking to a judge or a jury, public speakers, actors, comics, and mostly to singers.
Oh, wow.
Production skills for singers. And one day, a student was with John in the studio, and they had a question, and he said, Pepper, go look this up on the SAG, Screen Actors Guild website. I said, okay, I will. And I went there, and I found the answer, but it was very difficult, very difficult. I found it deep, deep in the site. And we looked at each other, and somehow between us, I think it was his idea. It's always his idea. I have an idea, one of the craziest words I hear from that man. And he said, let's make a site for actors, just an informational site. And we ended up calling it Ferrari SAG Podcast. And it hit until Screen Actors Guild contacted me and said, well, you can't use SAG Podcasts. I said, well, I already went to you and we have a signatory agreement that says I can. So we sat on this big table with all those lawyers and John and I and all their lawyers. And it was very nice. We came to an agreement and they said you can have Ferrari SAG Podcast as long as it's a smaller part of a larger thing.
Oh, okay.
And by that time we had already started doing some news for AFTRA, which is one of the unions for actors, the guilds, and also for equity for theater actors. So we somehow came up with Actors Reporter, and then the union news became really a rather small part of this trade
bigger
magazine.
Picture.
Yeah, it's funny how things grow and become.
So how many hosts would you say? I guess it varies, right, on between all your shows, but.
Right, we have a lot of shows. We have certain hosts that specialize in red carpet. They're amazing red carpet hosts. We have other shows that deal with teleprompter. We have great teleprompter readers for that. Danica Quinn is like
Yes.
amazing teleprompter reader and a host in general. And then we have certain hosts for our live chat show. We actually have a permanent host for each day of the week. Unfortunately, or fortunately, our hosts are amazing. So one is Joe Sabatino, but he's the executive producer of Necessary Roughness on USA Network.
Yeah.
So when they're writing, or they just started their third season, he's not so available. Kim Estes just got nominated for his role on House MD, so he's not always available.
Karis Morgan Moyer,
Morgan
friend,
Moyer.
our dear friend.
Amazing theater
She was
actress
just on
and-
tour in Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, went all over. She's
she's
amazing.
great.
Brett Walco, the stand-up comedian, ETN.
Right.
Judith Jones, who travels all over the world in food and travel shows. Brenda Epperson, who was 8 years the lead on The Young and the Restless. So we have our 5 hosts, so to speak, and then we have our substitute hosts, including wrestler, actor Rick Grayson, and actor Kim Delgado, and I know I'm missing names, but they're all, when we first looked for hosts, we needed 4. We had more than 1,500 people look for that position.
Wow.
So we were able to get Desiree Anderson, who was amazing, Marta McGonigal, Brett Howell, and Danica Quinn were our first 4 hosts, and they're just amazing people. I'm real lucky.
Are you always looking for hosts, or people contact you directly, or
People contact us all the time.
Yeah.
And frankly, I audition twice a month for people that want us to teach them performance skills.
Right.
Because we take very few clients. And then people will come and they'll send things to us, and we look at it on a one-to-one basis. They can send something to comments at actorsreporter.com, comments at actorsreporter.com. I will not directly see that, but someone in my office will, and they'll process their request for a meeting either online or in person if they
Good.
want to be a host. This is so much fun. I mean, I just like all the stuff. Look at the radio stuff. You can see that in the camera? This is so cool. I want one of those. I'm here on the set with Jasper Cole. Stay tuned for part 2. Hi, I'm Pepper J, Actors Day in LA. We're part 2 at Sunset Gower Studios on the set with Jasper Cole and Ralph Cole Jr. Let's see what else is going on.
What takes a good teleprompter reader? What is involved in that?
A teleprompter reader needs 2 things. First of all, they need a lot of personality, improv personality, love of the camera, so that, in my world anyway, they don't have to stick to the script.
Okay.
So we have a weekly show. It airs every Friday morning called The Trade Vine. We have licensing agreements with the Nielsen Company, who owns Backstage and Hollywood Reporter, and with Variety. I almost said Daily Variety, but they've now
They're
gone
gone now,
weekly.
right? Except weekly.
They're weekly. And so we pick I pick with someone that actually lives in Utah. We pick a couple of entertainment news items that we think people might have missed. And so we put it in a script, and someone like Danica or one of ETN or one of the crew, Lacey Kay, will read it. But if they're just reading the news, that's kind of boring. So we encourage them in a very family-friendly type of way to give their own opinion and their personality. For me, Ralph, that's what makes a good reader, enunciating their consonants, making sure they're using top pitches and low pitches so that it stays interesting.
I see.
And has a wonderful personality.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You'd be good, Ralph.
Yeah, I was curious because I just listening about teleprompter, I was wondering how big are the words and how far is the
They're in
prompt?
Braille.
Right. They're in Braille. Da-dum-dum.
Yeah. Comedy's hard.
I was just wondering, is it easy to see in an impromptu kind of way the script that's there enough to be able to glance at some of the words and then run with that?
Because you don't want to be seen in your glasses. That's
Yeah,
what I'm getting.
exactly.
Okay, got
That's
it.
very interesting. I didn't realize you wore glasses.
I wear them to read.
Oh, I see.
He can't see
We've
you at
never
all.
read
He can't
together,
see you at
Ralph.
all right now.
I know, but see, like, and
But
I
you
can
remember how beautiful
Right.
I know exactly. Well, no, that's why you are so beautiful to me. Okay.
Everybody's beautiful to Ralph. Yeah.
No, I can see far away fine and driving and sitting in the movie theater.
Allegedly.
But reading scripts now or just reading my notes or reading
Right.
directions on how to microwave something.
Right.
I need the readers.
Honey, I grab for my glasses too.
Well, and I have the readers strategically placed all through the house, so no matter where you are, you know you can
Right.
grab some there. So that's why
Yes.
for teleprompter.
Well, I'll tell you, in our studio, some of our equipment is state of the art. We have the TriCaster 455 that we do the live
She has great
video
studio.
on. It's got great video, live video. And some of the equipment is real prehistoric, but it still works. For example, we have a very large, old-time teleprompter casing, but we use an iPad for the actual teleprompter itself that's put on it. And so you're looking at a screen which has the camera behind it, so it looks like you're looking right into the camera.
Oh, great.
And you actually should be, when you're teleprompting, at least 6 feet, hopefully 8 feet if you have a studio that's large enough away. That way you won't see your eyes going back and forth across the screen.
Oh, okay.
And it really gives the impression of you just speaking right into the camera.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yay.
Because they've upgraded over the years. You know, and
Yeah, they have.
you used to almost watch people's eyes follow it.
That's
The worst is if you're watching. Was it the Oscars this year? There's an award show where
and it didn't come up.
it's amazing how many actors really can improv or whatever.
That's right.
I think it was Jason Bateman. I don't remember who
It was a man, and I don't think it was Jason Bateman.
But
I
apparently
remember-
the teleprompter either disappeared or froze.
Was it
but
Paul Ruddy?
I don't know. They just kind of stood there for a second. Like
Right.
I thought, really, can somebody make something up? Or you know?
Improv is so important, not just for actors,
For
and
everybody.
comedians, for everyone. Public speakers.
That's why you were saying for lawyers, you
That's
teach lawyers on how to speak to the judges.
Right. I happen to also be a practicing attorney.
Oh,
Did I ever mention
no.
that?
What?
Another subject, another day.
Okay, I love it.
But yes, someone can be an exceptional lawyer, have a lot of good things and good arguments, but if they can't relate to their audience, which is the judge or jury, because performance skills are really not only just simple techniques, but they're involved with audience psychology, and that's what John and I really teach. It's why an audience member does not want to turn away from you.
Right.
Whether you're a singer or a comic, the waiter comes up and wants to take your order, and you just don't want to turn and face that waiter because you don't know why, but you don't want to take your eyes off the talent. And
Right.
That's performance skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
So many attorneys are.
Well, you have that, Ralph, and so do you, Jasper. I mean, you guys would
thank
be
you.
good at anything. I always tell people that when they're auditioning for a sitcom, keep the improv to a minimum because that is in a very tight, and the jokes and the push words are there. Unless you're asked to do it a second time, then throw a little something
Right.
in. When you're going for a film, on the other hand, I would just really go
Right.
for it because 8 out of 10 times they're going to incorporate your improv into the script, and that's
Exactly.
going to be some of the funny stuff that's in
And
there.
that's happened to me a lot.
I'm
And
sure. Well, you're
and
amazing.
because you've
Yeah.
done so much 3-camera. 3-camera, really, you're right. The jokes are built into the
That's
the
right.
pauses and the lines.
And the thing is, when you, like you're saying, Pepper, for those sitcom auditions, as you know, the writers are in there a lot of times, or they're watching it,
That's right.
and the words are important. And I'm a writer also, and you might say, but I mean, I'm very precise when I learn the scripts, and a lot of actors, I'll change a word here or there. It's really a case by case, even with sitcom. You do stick to word by word. Every now and then I'll get a grr in or okay, and they'll keep that. But I've always said their words first.
Right,
Before
exactly.
before I've ever added
That's good
in my-
advice.
it's amazing how many of your network shows you've gotten Gurr in there.
It's really funny because when I
Especially when he plays drag
when
on
I watch
drag
my
roles.
reel, it is really funny about that. And Carlise was just laughing watching.
I
my
watched it. You're
drag
like, okay, Gurr.
Yeah, I always try to get that in there. And like some, and I don't always ask. I learned to Pepper, everything is case by case. I was working on Cold Case and I was thinking, oh God, I really would like to put Gurr in here. That would just be so.
Right.
And I was almost going to ask the writer.
No.
And then the director and we had such a great rapport. I was kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to do it, and it stayed.
Good.
So,
And they kept it in the edit.
They hire you because they know you. They know your body of work, and they know the breadth of what you can bring to a role.
Right.
And so they'll give you more leeway, or anyone like Jasper, more leeway when they know that you can come to the table.
Right, they're kind of expecting something from you,
That's
you
right.
know. And I've always been the actor that was too much, so they could just wheedle it down.
What's the best phrase?
Don't
Ralph,
make a meal out of it.
don't make a meal out of
Don't
it.
make a meal out of it. And I love that. It's such a great audition note. Don't make a meal out of it. Just do it. And sometimes it's hard. That's what's great about what a technique I've learned, because I'm bigger than life, just to tone it down.
It's Lennon's story. We'll do less, the director said to him. He's, well, okay, do less. Jack Lemmon says, do less. And finally, Jack Lemmon says, if I do less, I won't be doing anything at all. And the director said, yes, that's exactly what I'm
And,
looking
especially
for.
on 1 hour shows now, I talk to Ralph, because I do so many bad guys or whatever.
Yeah, you do.
You literally
And he's
feel
not a
like
bad guy at
you
all.
just are not even there. Like, they just literally want you to say the lines with nothing. I mean, because they figure if you have the look, you don't need to put anything on it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. You've been listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and couldn't do it without you. Peace out, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye, Planet Earth.
Don't miss a minute of...
Yay!
This is so cool here on the set with Jasper Cole. Stay tuned for part 3, Actors Day in LA. Jasper, thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on the Set with Jasper Cole. Tell me, how did this get started? It's an amazing radio show.
Oh, well, thank you, Pepper J. First of all, thank you so much for finally getting back in here after being such a great guest the first time. This whole thing happened, I had been asked many times over the years to do these sort of seminars and industry kind of stuff, and I thought the one I did one once, and I started off by saying to the group, if you can do anything else in Hollywood and be happy, you should just get up and leave the room now. Well, apparently that didn't go so well, because they wanted people to sign up for classes and stuff like that. So I started thinking, maybe there's a way I could have a forum that I could talk about my experiences in the industry. So that's kind of how this happened. I knew Tony Sweet, who started Global Voice Broadcasting originally, where we were at, and then I just had been a guest on his show, actually, promoting a film, MacGruber, and I don't know, I approached him and said, what about having a show where I just sort of talk about everything Hollywood and entertainment? And that's kind of how it all started, and it's kind of evolved from there.
UBN is a internet radio station that I have created. This is my second go around after owning another station before this. So we're kind of taking internet radio and hopefully taking it to the next level of quality shows, and also kind of moving into internet television. And so that's our goal here at UBN.
One of your shows on UBN is On the Set with Jasper Cole. I was just lucky enough to be a guest on it. What other shows do you have on the UBN network?
Well, besides mine, On There with Tony Sweet, we have my co-partner and co-owner of UBN Radio, Ann Walker. She is an actress also. She was in the Sordid Lives series and movie, and she also has the Ann Walker Show, who gets very political, and also a big supporter of the LGBT. We just had start on UBN. I'm so honored to have him on the station. Rob Weller, who hosted Entertainment Tonight, and also Win, Lose or Draw, the game show. So he just started. It's called Hollywood Headliners, and he has pretty much people from behind the scenes, on the scenes. I know they just started and debuted their show last Thursday, and it was all about talk shows.
You have been in so many films and so many TV shows. Is that how you get all your guests? You must know everyone in the industry.
Well, it's funny. That is sort of the way I first approached Tony. I thought, well, between myself and my friends and people, my publicists and people I know, I thought we can probably never run out of guests. And it seems like now every time I work, I tend to meet somebody or someone in the cast, or I'll say, you can come be on my radio show. I should actually start using that in the casting process when I go in and say, by the way, I have a radio show. If you cast me.
Yeah. So cast me.
Yeah, the whole cast can come on.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No, it's worked out really well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And question, you're here on Sunset Gower Studios a lot. How's that working out for you?
It's fantastic. We were at Sunset Bronson. Originally, it was Global Voice Broadcasting, and Tony regrouped and started this new company. And so there's history in both lots, but this is actually one of my favorite. There's so many great shows that are filmed here now, and there's something great about doing a show about entertainment on a lot, as opposed to maybe in an office building or something. So I love it.
So you have probably the best sidekick ever, Ralph Cole Jr.
Ralph Cole Jr.
I mean, how could you have a better sidekick?
Oh my God!
How did that come about?
Well, Ralph and I are friends, and
You're not related, right, Cole?
No, we're not related. We say we're brothers from a different mother. But when I met Ralph, I was producing a sitcom pilot 4 years ago, and I went to the table read, and this guy walked in, and I was like, this guy's a star. Who the hell is he, and why haven't I met him before? And we just kind of clicked immediately. And so when I was putting together the radio show, I was thinking about sort of the yin and yang, Hollywood's bad guy and this sort of out there flamboyant guy, sort of the opposites attract kind of thing. And it's been amazing. Yeah, we work well together. But don't tell him I said that. Okay,
no, I won't. We'll pretend he's not.
I like to
sitting
keep
in the room.
him,
Yes,
thinking
exactly.
that he could be fired any minute.
Ralph Cole Jr., what a talent you are. I mean, it's hard to say what TV show you haven't been on. Is it fun to do on the set with Jasper Cole?
I love getting to do it, Pepper, because Jasper is crazy, wild, and we've known each other for about 4 years now. And it's fun to be with him because we talk on the phone regularly just about everything in the business and about what's going on in our careers, and then we just translate that into the radio show. So I was so glad he asked me to be his sidekick, because when we are on the air together, we really are at home. We totally improv everything. Anything can happen, and has and will, and so it's really a lot of fun.
The camaraderie is like amazing with you two.
I know. Well, thank you for saying that. We've had guests on the show that have commented like, "Wow, this is like a runaway train. How do we get on?" And it's like, just jump on whenever you can, because we don't know what we're going to say either, but we just really enjoy getting to do it and play off of each other. And we both have the love of improv, so it comes easy to us.
Tell me, Tony Sweet, what makes a radio show a great radio show?
I think it's a combination of being able to have a conversation and just have a great personality. And I think if people can show that person's personality along with being able to speak, if like I can't at the moment, but it's mostly, I think, I heard one time that somebody says, just because you're great at having a conversation doesn't mean you're great at being a radio host. But I think you just have to interact and also connect with not only your guest, but also your listeners. And I think that's the biggest thing nowadays, because everybody has ADD. I'm one of them.
Tell us a couple of things that are happening with you right this second.
Well, to keep it really current, I'm in a feature film directed by Jules Stewart called K11 that has now been released, and we are going to Blu-ray and DVD this April 23rd. It's a gritty prison drama. Nice. So it is a genre that is new to me, because I usually am Mr. Sitcom, Mr. Comedy, and to get to be in this very visceral film.
What's your role like? Tell us about your role.
I play KK, one of the inmates, and KK sees herself, I'm a transgender, and KK sees herself as a little bit above the other inmates because she is able to do hair for the various inmates. And one of the inmates is played by Billy Morrison. He's a famous rock star. And my character has likened herself to his character. I cut his hair, thereby thinking I am a celebrity hairstylist, and that's what's going to get me out of here and into the mainstream world. But again, it stars Kate Del Castillo and Goran Visnik. It's very visceral, very gritty, and
is it dark?
It's dark, Pepper, and I mean, there are humorous things that appear in the film, but it's a dark film, and it was a great departure for me because I am a comic actor, and I loved getting to be in this very real surrounding. And we actually filmed at Sybil Brand Institute here in L.A.
Was that weird?
Well, it was weird because it was real. And it wasn't just a set. It was a place that actually incarcerated women. Yeah. And to walk through those halls and to see solitary confinement right there and filming in there, it was very daunting.
Wow. And what other projects? You have others.
And on the flip side of K11, I'm in a wonderful short comedy romp called Dirty Talk. And Dirty Talk is a 12-minute film. It's about the guy that has sexual encounter that goes awry. And he's explaining it to his very best friend over lunch, and I play their waiter. And the waiter is a little bit intrusive and totally gets involved in the storyline too. Our 12-minute film, Pepper, has been all over the country now. We have won Best Comedy in Tucson. We are on our way to Las Vegas. We are doing San Diego. It's a labor of love written by Jeff Sumner, who also directed the film and stars in it along with Jason Bogue and myself and Claude Knowlton. And it's a wonderful romp, and it just goes to show you how going from feature to short, it is all accessible.
The love of acting.
It is the love of acting.
And where can people go to see the short? Is it somewhere online?
Right now, it hasn't gone to DVD yet. There's only a trailer that can be found at, if you YouTube Dirty Talk, the movie, there's a trailer of the film there. It will be going into DVD distribution at some point in the future, but for right now, we are still very heavy into the festival circuit.
If someone wanted to be a sponsor of your show, how would they contact you?
Well, you could go to my website, onthesetwithjaspercole.com, or just there's a phone number, 310-288-5761, which is our radio show business line. And just let us know. We have great advertising rates and packages, and we're always looking for sponsorships for sure. And our viewership is getting bigger and bigger, so it'll be worthwhile to advertise with us, I think.
Thank you so much for joining me on Actors Day in LA. This has been so nice to be with Jasper and Ralph and Becky and meet new friends. And I'm Pepper J for Actors Day in LA at Actors Reporter. See you next time.